Joining us right now is Sergio Ermotti. He's CEO of UBS. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
We're gonna hear from the president. He's going to be here tomorrow. What do you think of all of this, and what are all your clients telling you about it?
Well, I think that the level of news is starting to weigh on client sentiments. I would say that there is a certain amount of news that you can get every day, and then all of a sudden, one day or the other is going to be enough. So people are basically carefully diversifying in markets and avoiding
because you think that Greenland is the tipping point. I mean, there's been lots of things that the administration has said and done over the past year.
Yeah, but the real issue that's in my point of view is that there is a limit on how many things you can put on the table without, and eventually one day one of them going out of control, and then eventually creating the kind of volatility you see now right now in financial markets.
And do you think it's going to get better or worse, this volatility?
I don't see any path of normalization in the near future.
And when you say path of normalization,
path of normalization of lower volatility and more stability. So, we need to resolve some issues. I mean, until we see the resolution of, trade tensions or tariff tensions or the topic about Greenland, Ukraine, you name it.
We could use a couple. I'll take another year in 2026, like 2025 and 2024. Volatility notwithstanding, though, I mean, there are tailwinds.
Yeah.
For the globe. Correct.
There are tailwinds. I mean, look, one could say 2025 was a great year, so, welcome for financial markets. But again, my point is that some of these topics are starting to weigh on
well, there could be a
confidence.
tipping point. It could be noise, like it was last year. I mean, Liberation Day was the best buying opportunity we had all year on April 4th.
Yeah, I understand that maybe like you, we've been around for a long time. The fact that all these major geopolitical topics seems to have no relevance is quite abnormal in my point of view. So.
We had Ukraine and Putin in the backdrop the entire time, and China.
I'm concerned that history tells us that things can get out of control with the behaviors or the act of a person that doesn't really.
So when you talk to your clients, though, and you talk about them diversifying, what is that diversifying into? What are they doing?
Well,
and how is that a shift that's literally happening in the last 72 hours? I mean, when you talk about this sort of tipping point?
The diversification, it's all about recognizing that it's very difficult to recognize any asset class in today's market that is not fairly priced or even overpriced. So the name of the game is that retaining a good portion of cash, being able to step in if you see dislocation. It's one strategy, but I would not really think about picking up any asset class nowadays that seems to be priced in an attractive way.
So cash is the new king?
Cash is king, and I think that's...
But Sergio, if multiples, and I'm just, I'm not necessarily talking globally, but if multiples in the United States stay where they are, the earnings per share estimates are double digit, even on the conservative side of things. So you think that there could be a exogenous event that causes multiples to contract
because the underlying economy is doing well. I think all the investments on AI and the collateral benefits that you're going to see soon, regulation are stimulus. On the other hand, inflation is not really under control.
It's under 3%.
Right. Well, the target is 2%, right? So and in a sense, I would say that is again. Right. I think the geopolitical part plays a role.
What do you think about what seems to be a unusual battle between the White House and this administration and the banking community? That is in the context of credit cards, capping credit cards potentially. We were talking actually over the weekend. The president said that he may sue J.P. Morgan and Jamie Dimon. There's just a sort of a different kind of relationship that seems to be emerging between the two.
But the one on credit cards is all about a way most likely to stimulate more consumer spending and like.
Do you think that will work?
I think maybe short term, but long term, I'm not a big fan of intervention in distortion in the free market. So
from Europe.
That way.
And then finally, we had Brian.
I'm Swiss.
You're neutral.
Last question though, we had Brian Armstrong from Coinbase on, and there's a big also fight happening between the world of crypto and tokenization and the legacy banks and this idea of what that ultimately looks like. By the way, people used Swiss banks for a long time to protect their assets. That was always a sort of and now they're thinking about crypto in that way.
Do you feel like tokenized world is safe yet? I mean,
well, that's my question.
What I'm hearing also around the potential effect of quantum computing into the safety of these kind of assets, it still needs to be proved. Anyhow, I do believe that blockchain and that kind of technology is the future for the traditional banking business. So you will see a convergence of that. But we need to pay attention in making sure that at the end of the day, banks are, leave out of trust, and people want to put their assets and their, whatever assets they have in a trusted place. And I would say that new technology still needs to prove itself over the years, and particularly after quantum computing.